Okay, so I have questions. How did your doctor's appointment go? Didn't you have a doctor's appointment? Who had an appointment?
Oh,
Did a
a hair appointment this
Oh, not a doctor's, because I was worried. I was like, I hope she's okay.
No, it was my hair. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I said it to Mom, so you have another fire to put out there.
Got it.
You're welcome. I was like, Danielle's a doctor's appointment. And she's like, oh, she does. So I was like, I know.
I know,
So-
weird.
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't want to ask. I was like, I'll be talking to her later.
Thanks a lot, lady.
Did you just say appointment? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so dramatic. She is a doctor's
She's
appointment.
dying.
She's literally dying. And she's being so brave about it. Like, calm the fuck down. Oh, a hair appointment. Oh, my hair is messed up. Like, who goes to a hair appointment? It's obviously a doctor's appointment. Nice. Okay, now that that's over, how did your hair appointment go?
Good. Good.
You're like, very well.
As expected.
Okay, now I have something to say to you guys. I was so upset this morning. Not even this morning. It was like an hour ago. It goes back to what I was just saying, how when you're in your own house, you should feel comfortable, right?
Mhm.
So, especially when you have an animal, your number one job is to make them feel safe. Because they're like a child, right?
Just gonna make
You
a
don't
sound.
scare your animal.
Right?
And it's not gonna. It's just gonna annoy you. So, Lulu has a fear of safety, right? All the time. So she'll bark. She'll bark at everybody outside because in her dog brain, she's like, we could be under attack at literally any second here and nobody cares. Like, that's what they mean. They're like, you need to pay attention to this. Hey, does everybody else in the house realize the shit that is going on out there? It's pandemonium. The kids on bikes. What do they do with those bikes? Who taught them how to ride bikes? We've got problems. You know, that's what they're doing when they're barking. And so I've trained her to, when I come up and I say, get down, Lou. She calms right down. She'll come over to me. It's a safety thing. It's like, it's okay. You know, the kids on the bikes, it's okay. To her, she's like, they're a lot bigger than me. Everything's bigger than me, you know. So fucking earlier, I hear her barking. Because whenever I hear her barking, I try to go up there and just not coddle her or make it a big deal. Just, it's okay. You give her the chill voice, and she calms down. I hear vacuuming. I hear her barking. I know she doesn't like the vacuum. They're up there cheering her on to get the vacuum. So she's barking more. And I'm like, do you not understand what's going on here? These are my parents up there. Yours too. I don't know if you knew that, but they are. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
they're encouraging her fear of the vacuum, which I have, you know how long I have spent with the vacuum sitting there, not on, and I'm sitting next to it and I'm calling her over to me and I'm saying, touching it as I'm petting her, and she's skittish as hell, and I'm saying, it's okay. Like, she fears it. She will start shaking. Her body literally physically shakes when you open the closet where the vacuum is. And they're cheering it on up there. And I looked at Mom and I gave her the most, like,
I'm
you guys are
disappointed in you,
idiots.
eyes.
Look. So disappointed. Just like, what are you two doing?
The most
You,
disappointed.
like, you make her feel safe. That's our job. And you suck at it. And that's why we're fucked up as children. And you still haven't learned. It's like watching scary movies for our kids. What are you doing? It's a horror show for her. She sees the vacuum. She's like, I'm literally going to die from that thing one day. She comes on. It's the loudest noise. It smells weird. You know, we suck up everything weird with a vacuum, and they have the craziest scent. She probably turns on. The air starts going. She's like, I smell death. It's loud. I'm terrified. You know what I mean? And I'm working so hard to try and make her feel safe, and they are just one fell swoop. They're like, kill the vacuum, get it. It's attacking everyone. I can't control it. Yeah. That's what it seems like to her.
Yeah.
It just,
You know what's funny is I was
But yes,
doing editing on the podcast, and you were talking about how mom had fears about how she wasn't a good parent, and you were telling her how she was a good parent because
not
we're
anymore.
better.
Yeah. Not
We're
even,
not
not
a-
anymore. They've one fell
Now
swoop
this-
for me
this
too.
podcast
Lost all
is
faith in you. You're literally terrifying a tiny dog.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, done. Done. Next time she says it, I will. I will. I've already mapped out the points, the bullet points in my argument that
Yeah.
I will have with her later, because I'm
Now,
just like,
Here's what I'll
I'm working
say.
so hard.
Here's what I'll say. So first of all, let me say this. I am with you, Victoria, that I don't do that stuff to dogs. I hate it. To animals. I'll mess with people. I'll, mess with the scaring around people sometimes. But like, if people really hate it, I don't. But animals, absolutely not. I think it's terrible. I hate when people do it. I think there's one thing where you can you get like little toys, like a feather or something, and mess with the animals and stuff like that. But any sort of like scaring animals, I'm like, you're an asshole.
Right.
So
You son of
first
a
of all,
bitch.
yeah, I'm not with it.
Yeah.
However, I do think, and I don't know this, so I'm not an expert, but I think there could be, and I'm not saying lose one of them, but I think there can be with animals. It almost seems like where maybe they're not, maybe they are scared of it. I look at it as, I don't know for sure. And maybe that, what I'm saying is there's a possibility that maybe certain animals aren't necessarily scared of it because they don't run from it. Maybe Lou is one that is scared of it, but they still attack it. Maybe they just like, fuck you, vacuum. So I don't know. I could see how people do it possibly. And maybe it's not a big deal. But again, I'm not an expert and it wouldn't be something I would do.
Yeah.
But with Lou, I could see
Well,
her
when you
being
see her
scared because
if you
I
put
know
your-
she shakes. And I agree
Yeah.
with you there. And Lou might be one that is actually scared of it because she is small and she does shake all the time. So again, I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying I could see how. So I'm trying to be charitable. Again, not something I would do.
I know, and I try to be too. I bet there are some dogs. Like I go to one of my clients and they have a tiny dog.
Mhm.
And you freaking get the vacuum super close to that dog and it's like what? Like it doesn't even move. Like it's
Mhm.
like you'll hit it with the vacuum and it's like, ah. I'm like, I don't want to get up. You're like,
Yeah.
move, you little freaking turd.
Yeah.
So but then the big dog, there's a big dog there and it's like, son of a fuck. Like, it's gotten up on the bed before where it's like, I gotta have the high ground on this one. And it's like, he's looking at me and I'm looking at him back at him. And then he just starts barking at me. Like, and he's a hound dog. So he howls and he's turn it off, and he'll full hug you. So I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. He's like,
Yeah.
please don't turn it on. Please don't turn it on again. So I put him outside and then I turn it on and he's like, she's a madman in there. Like she just plays with it. It's literally an alligator and she's just like wrestling it. I don't know what she's doing. Like I feel like that's how he talks to the cats. Because there's
Yeah.
only other cats. And he's like the nicest, sweetest dog. Like he sniffs the cat will be like, "Arr," and he's like, jeez. Jeez.
This is my house too.
Can you even yeah. Well they're like, it's my house first. And he's like, yeah, true. He's like the sweetest dog though. He'll play zoomies with you, but he gets you into it, which is weird because I usually feel like it's the person trying to play with the dog. He'll get you into it. He'll look at you kind of sideways and he'll kind of scurry over to you for a second and then he'll jump back. And he's like, you wanna play a little bit? Oh, he's like, okay. You're running around and you run up and you go, I get you. And you tickle his sides. And then he'll run away, and he'll like fully like he's a little tiny dog, but he's a big moose like hound dog. He's this huge dog. It's so fun. I love it.
I know.
But yeah, so there are some dogs that they probably aren't scared of it at all. Like that little tiny dog, same size as
Yeah.
Lou, but he's just like, I don't like. He couldn't care less. Like. Whereas I don't think size matters with it. It's just a really loud
Just temperament.
thing.
Yeah. Lil's
I don't
scared Lil's scared shitless.
Well, and it has the
Charlie was scared of the
light
vacuum, and then I remember the golden retriever. Semi scared. I think she was like not as scared as Charlie. So yeah, it just depends.
No. But I think the best thing to do, because it is an activity that you will be doing a lot. And if you have a dog living in your environment and you notice that they're scared of it, the nicest thing that you can do is just at least try and make sure that they know they can get up somewhere high, they can get on the couch, they can get somewhere away from it where it's not going.
Yeah.
Another room, they can go, and you try to get them to know it's not going to hurt them. I'm never going to bring it near you. I'm not going to try and, some people put it on their dog like, ha ha ha, they're so scared of it. No, we don't do that. We make people feel safe in our home. Like, it's where she lives.
Why are you attacking me, lady?
Yeah, she's like, and nobody makes me feel safe here. She's like, nobody cares about me.
Needy.
Hey!
Every animal is exactly like their owner. She's just like you, Frank. That's literally,
Not that
whenever
needy.
you're like bitching at her, like you're a little bitch doing your little bitch activities, she's like, who raised me? Who raised me to be like this? You're like,
I'm not that
whoa,
needy.
okay. Shots fired. You are too. You're secretly super. Frank, you have a blanket wrapped around you right now. You want hugs.
That doesn't mean I'm needy.
If Danielle hugged you right now, you would be like,
I would.
it's exactly what I needed. Danielle.
Don't
Danielle. Danielle, go over there.
I'm tired.
Oh, he's stuffed up.
I didn't sleep that great last night. And I've been fighting, going back to bed because I'm so. I woke up. I went to bed at 8. I have to go to bed at work. 10:30, and I was up for like an hour or something. And then I went back to bed and woke up at 6. And tired as hell. Fighting it.
I got great sleep last night. Why aren't you prioritizing your sleep a little better?
I just had to
Yes,
switch
he
it
just-
around.
Yeah, he just woke up.
I just
Funky.
completely switched to where I have to go to sleep at 8 p.m. and wake up at 4 a.m. So I'm just
Oh, you
getting
just
used to it.
switched that.
I just
Hold
switched
on, I
like
can't.
a week and a
You're
half
just
ago.
a little quiet, both of you. Like it's the same level of both of you quiet.
Yeah,
Trying
that's.
to see if I
yeah.
can.
We have to. Oh no, our levels sound good. So like we're looking at them. No, I can see them right here.
I see it. I see it.
So that's just a.
No, that's the volume for my microphone. Hold on.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, way better. Way better.
You know, your hair does look nice, but
It does look really nice.
She's going to she's gonna stop by here, or I'm gonna go over to her house probably later today. Because our hair, I think, has so many gold tones in it that it's hard to get it to just go blonde. And so there's a
Not
little
gonna do
bit.
it.
I know there's a little bit up here. She's like, I just want to tone it a little bit more because it's really thin up here. And it's like blonde down here. So she's like, I just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
she does
It's
find
not
my-
dead enough
Right.
up here.
Yeah.
You're
I
like,
need to
she's
chill
like,
it.
that's what they're basically saying. It's still golden up here.
Like
it's
like down here.
It's fighting
down
the
here.
death.
Yeah, down here's Auschwitz. Up here's the Japanese internment camps.
Okay.
There you go.
I want to fry my hair.
That's what it is. That's exactly.
Like,
That explains it perfectly.
Okay, you guys always go so dark.
I didn't say it. I just said
You
it.
said that's it exactly.
Dude,
You're like, yes. You didn't say it, but you're the person
I
with
saw-
the
okay, I
sign
stopped-
saying, yeah.
I stopped midway through my denial. I'll give you that. I was like, well,
Okay. Well, I guess I'm culpable.
fine.
what is his name? Who's the WW guy? Who's the guy that took pictures of Weimaraners? Photographer. Whatever. He had a no. No. No, this guy he took the photos of Weimaraners, so I thought there was an exhibit they did up in Spokane at Gonzaga for him, showing some of his photos. I thought I was gonna be looking at a bunch of photos of Weimaraners. And then what?
We didn't do the Sherlock exhibit.
I forgot about. I was only thinking about yoga. I forgot about Sherlock, man. I was down to do some yoga. I was down to do the Sherlock thing too.
I forgot to.
Is it gone now?
And it doesn't matter. Okay, let's stay on task.
But this guy, I'll look up his name right now.
Man, this book was so good.
I
I love
know.
Shut up. We're not there yet. Okay.
You have that picture, so every time that picture.
William Wegman.
William Wegman. Willie Wegman. It's a good name. It's a good name for
Let me see
weird
this.
jobs too, like taking pictures of Weimaraners.
Well, like dressing up dogs and taking pictures.
I'm Willie Wegman and I take pictures of Weimaraners. You're like,
And I dress them up
Okay.
like they're human.
Whatever. I don't know what any of this is. But
I love this guy. I love him so much. I just want to tell him, like, I'm so impressed with your choices that you made in your life. I don't know
Well,
if that sounds bad.
Dude, so he had this exhibit. Well, it's not him, but the school put on an exhibit of his. And I was thinking I was going to see a bunch of Weimaraner photos. And then I go up there and it was all photos that when he went to the Japanese internment camps during World War II in America. And I was like, oh my God. But it was
Yeah,
actually
you
really
thought
cool.
wrong,
No, but
right?
it was actually really cool. And I was
But
like,
a totally different
totally different experience, but it was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude. Yeah, so it was still very cool, but
That's kind of crazy too.
So if he does that, that is why he does a Weimanite. Why
Weimaraner.
Marauder.
those dogs? Because he needs
Weimaraner.
Is it Mer or
Weimaraner.
Mar?
People say it differently. I just say Weimaraner. It's Weimaraner. The Weimar.
I always call them Y Mariners.
Why Mariners? Exactly.
I mean, you could. They're
Gotta make it questionable.
They have a
'cause who the fuck
cousin,
named him?
the Vizsla, that is red.
Yes.
Those
What?
are beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful.
Basically, almost the exact
Beautiful
same,
dogs.
but they're red. The slightly different face.
There's
They're gorgeous.
Bernie Doodle for sale right now. That is,
No one likes
is
it.
exactly the tricolor I want. Amelia's like, you should just go get it and ask forgiveness
Yeah,
later.
but
And I
you
was like,
did
That's
say
what you do. That's what you
you
do.
did give Jason a time.
We would
I
not
did,
be your
I did.
team. We would not be your two-man team. We're, get it. Get it. You got two Emperor Palpatines. We're like, just get it.
No, I had three.
Feel
'cause
the
it'd be
dark
you
side
two
within you.
and
The
How
boys.
big was the TV that Jason bought? Okay.
Exactly.
You're like, son of a bitch.
Jason's like, but you don't have to feed and water the. Okay.
How much gas does goes in his truck and oil? So you do have to feed a truck. You're like,
All of a sudden,
yeah,
I'm
we
like,
would not.
I'm taking a
we would
road
not be your
trip.
good guys. No, you come home with 2 dogs. You're like, look, I had. Jason's like, what are you doing? You're like,
Got there.
I don't know.
They were
I don't
brothers.
know.
I don't know.
They were friends. They sit cute, and I had these jagaloons. We're over there like, no regrets, no regrets, because now we get to pet him, but we don't have to take care of him. It's like the best. Oh, I talked to that girl, and she lied or forgot. I said to her, I was like, did you ever hang out with that chick that did the weird karaoke things? And she got weird. She got weird, so I don't know what happened, but for realsies, one day we're gonna get there. I'm gonna start this relationship, guys, one day.
Now you're determined.
But she's like, I could just ask her, but it's fine. Anyway, she's like, no, I didn't. I lost her number. And I'm like, okay, I can't say this without being very creepy, because I'm like, I have literally a mental image in my head of you giving your number to her with a little heart on there that you drew for her. So I remember that. Because I didn't want to be like, how could you lose her number when you gave her yours? So what happened? Like, I want to know the full story, because it sounds like she's trying just not to tell a really weird story at work. And now you guys have to figure it out. You have to just sit in the wonder with me until
I just
one
don't
day I
give a shit
actually
about it, so.
light the scandal. You should.
No, wait.
in your head.
So what was your full conversation?
I'll listen to you. I'm just saying I'm not.
She said, I said, hey, did you ever hang out with that chick that does like, because she
The
said
weird
she was like
karaoke?
super huge into karaoke. Yeah. And she said, she was like, oh, well, I lost her number. That's what she said.
But Victoria did
And
the
I'm like,
detective
but-
skills of remembering that the girl at the gas station gave her number to the weird chick.
Right.
So there's no way she could have lost her number.
So then how did you, what was the rest of your conversation?
Victoria did not
Anything?
continue. So Victoria was telling us her thoughts internally, but she didn't want to bring it up because she realized the girl felt like it was too awkward to talk about, at least at work. So Victoria's thinking later in their relationship,
I know,
she
but I
might
need to know, like, how did you end the conversation?
just dropped it.
I didn't. I just moved on. Yeah.
I know,
just
but
moved
what
on.
else did you guys talk about?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and then we talked about. Wait, what happened next? That other chick was there, and she's. I don't like the other chick. She's weird. She seems like she's a. I don't know why I have this intuition. It sounds so freaking rude, but she seems like a thief. I immediately, right when I see her face, I'm like, you steal things. You steal things. That's what keeps going through my head. You are a thief. And I don't know why I think that, but it's just every time I see her, I'm like, you're stealing from the store. You absolutely 100% are stealing from the store. I know it. Like, I know it. I feel it in my bones.
Is she
So
a
every time she looks at me and she like tries to have...
different race?
She's a chick that I knew in school, and I think she was a couple years older than me. So I like have a little remembrance of her face like that, but I don't know why every single time I see her, I'm just like, you are a criminal. And it just... Every time I'm looking at her and I don't trust you. I do not.
She is
I
white,
hope
though.
you know that. Yeah. But it's just like 100%.
I
I'm
just wanna
like,
make
I don't
sure.
trust you.
Not
Something,
racially inappropriate.
something. Oh my God. I'm not. I don't know why I think that. I have no evidence. I would never say it to anybody but you guys. But I'm just, every time I see her, I think,
And
she-
anybody that ever
internet.
hears this, definitely keep it in. So.
Don't keep it in.
You're a criminal.
No, man. You are a criminal. You're stealing from the
That's how
store.
we should start the podcast. You're a criminal. You're a thief.
You are a criminal, and I,
I
don't
see it
trust
on your
you.
face.
Well, if we do it,
I do.
and we don't include the
see it in her
context
eyes.
of the gas station, then she'll never know.
Yeah, true.
it's at-
yeah,
that
you
think
can
we
leave all
should-
that in.
I-
Just leave the gas
I
station
really think
It's
every
the Circle K
Leave it in.
on
Every-
Bain Road.
every podcast start should be some random comment that makes no sense.
It's hilarious.
That we never
Yeah.
follow up on.
Yeah, nobody knows what the kind of.
My
in
goal
the
is to get
comments, they're
Danielle
like,
fired
who's the
from her
thief?
job.
Who
No.
stole something?
I'm just kidding.
No, that's
I'm
all.
just kidding.
But then she was talking. Oh, she just said, and next week I'm going from 3 days to 2 days. You know, my memory is bad. You guys, not. I mean, it's too good, and it sounds weird because the next time I talk to her, I'll just be like, I can remember if I'm visually seeing something, I will remember a lot of detail, and I feel like that's a female thing. I think though, a female brain thing they say.
I also, it's, yes.
No, men are
because-
visual. That's the thing.
Because things in the house, Jason will be like, where is this? Okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And I haven't
Have
seen
you
it for
seen
like,
those hilarious back and forths where it's like, oh babe, I need a paper clip or whatever, and she texts back and she's like, there's a paper clip next to the bed, on the dresser, on the floor, next to this.
Yeah, exactly.
They take a picture and there is a paper clip. There's one paper clip that's obviously fallen there.
Yes.
You're like, yes. For some reason, it's so
We
satisfying.
like cataloged that in our brain. Yes.
Unfortunately, that is scripted. Unfortunately, that's not a real moment.
Frank is the killer today. Anyway, and she was like, so I'm going down next week to 2 days. And I showed a little bit of emotion here. I was like, oh no, you won't be here for 3 days a week. And she's like, no, because I usually was on 2. She's like, my boyfriend does this. And I was like, where does he work at? And she was like, Rosars. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, talking about something else. Oh, I said, I'd like to get a new job, but I get paid too much for what I do. And then the thief chick was like butted in. She was like, yeah, she does in-home care, and she makes you make a lot of money with that or whatever.
How did she know it?
Because she apparently did it for 9 years. It's pretty easy. You can see right out their doors, right where they stand to talk to me. You can see where I've parked my car. It's literally right outside the doors, and my client's right there. And I always say I'm getting these for my client
Oh,
because he always so she probably just put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, she said she got burnt out from it, so whatever. I don't know. I don't trust her. I don't trust her at all.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. My deduction, she either gave that person a wrong number. I didn't want to tell you,
Yeah.
like, I'm a mean person and I gave her a wrong number. Right?
I didn't like her either. We're like, oh my god, me either.
Did we just become best friends? Exactly.
Oh my god, because you got a weird vibe? Do you get a weird... She's like, at work from the other chick here? It's like too much right
She either gave her the wrong number or she just totally like has blocked her and is ignoring her.
Which makes sense because they're the kind of couple that they're like, not to be weird or anything. You're like, it's already weird. It's already weird. And I
You
wanna
already
leave.
said it.
Don't
right.
start it like that.
I'm so thankful for my intuition vibes.
Gosh. Where would we be?
Gotten out of situation. Wind.
Awkward. Where you're like, well, I know. And then there's people like Daryl. Remember when I told you that story where it's like a gay guy who he knows is into him, invites him over, and then, would you like to come down to my basement? And he's like, sure.
You say no. You say no. You don't even go to their house. One.
I was like, you say no. You say no. I don't want to go to the basement. And he's like, so we're in the basement.
So
And he asked me to take off my pants. And I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did he? Did
And
that
he's like,
really
it
happen?
was pretty flattering. Yeah. Yeah. The guy was like, will you please move in with us? I won't do anything with you. But, because it's a couple that lives there. And the other guy is asleep. He's dead. He's obviously dead somewhere in the house. Anyway, and he's like, just, we won't do anything, but will you like clean the pool? He's like, it was a nice house. I'm like, you are a fucking whore. You are a whore.
He wanted a pool boy.
And he's like straight up just asking him. And he was like, I thought about it. It's a pretty nice house. Free rent. I'm like, you are a whore. You are a straight up whore. And he would be fine with it. Because he loves attention. He's like, what do you eat? Attention. Yeah, that's what he eats.
I mean, I had the same thing happen to me, but not offering to stay there. But like gay guy that was a friend of mine was asking me after I drove him home from the bar to come in. I had to keep that from telling him no.
I kept having to tell him no. No means no.
You're like, no.
I had to tell him no like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Well, and it is flattering. It doesn't matter who the person is. It doesn't matter if it's the old guy at the care center that you work at and they're like, if I was 30 years younger, and you're like, you still wouldn't have a chance, but whatever. But you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's them or it doesn't matter. You still feel flattered. You're like, well, thanks. I had a guy yell at me the other day. I was walking in Walmart and he goes like this, I like your hair. I was like, thank you.
I went into
so much.
TJ Maxx a couple days ago, and this guy, I just, you know how you look up, like you could feel someone, and so I look up, he's staring at me, and I'm like, okay, that is creepy as hell. And so I like moved to a different part of the store, and then he's like, hey, and I'm like, I'm leaving.
He's like,
I bought nothing, and I left.
Was he a TJ Maxx employee?
he's like kind of peeking over.
No.
Oh, he wasn't.
I was just making sure.
Like following around you, like, are you gonna steal from us?
Maybe you got the same
That's
vibe
how
as
I
the
come
other guy.
across.
She has an alter ego that steals clothes. Like she doesn't have to. She has the money. You can literally pay for it all then. So she's just stuffing it in her bag. And then every time the guy's looking at her, it's like the real Danielle. And she's like, why is he looking at me?
Split
Because you're a
personality.
thief. No, dude, I know. People are freaking weird. But you have to trust those senses because it's like, I know some people want adventure and things like that, but it's just, you know, an adventure is going on a trip and you kind of get lost driving, but you find your way back in like 10 minutes. It's not what they show in the movies. That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
I really like the animated cartoon, The Adventures of Tintin.
What? Where is it? What? When did it come out?
That's an adventure. I don't know. It was like probably around. Let me guess here. Let me guess. I watched it on 8th Street.
Okay.
I would say 2015.
What kind of trouble did they get in?
You have to watch it.
We gotta do this podcast before Frankie falls asleep.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
2011.
2011.
No.
Hmm.
Very good though. That's an adventure. Watch
Is it sweet though? Like Kiki's delivery service?
It's very good. Just watch it. It's about a boy and his dog. There's a bunch of old books about it. Old like short stories. And they made a movie.
When I was in the 4th grade, I used to read Hank the cow dog detective, and he was the cow dog on a ranch, and he would figure out the mysteries of the ranch. I loved it. I still love it. I still see the book covers. Going in the library, like, I hope they have one. Like, they don't get new ones in. It's a freaking school library. Hope they have one I've read. I know. I'm like, oh, there are some sweet moments we remember. I love it. I was so alone that year. It was like the one year I was not at Parkway. You were there, yo.
What, Highland?
Oh.
Do you remember when you... Yeah, do you remember when you came home one day and you're like, somebody likes you? Such a dick. And I was like, not having it. I was like, no, whatever.
I don't
Didn't even rise to the occasion. Yeah, and then you were like, do you know someone named Raymond Spencer? And I was like, yeah, the freaking
so
weird
nice.
kid.
He was so sweet.
Yeah, he was silent. Did not speak.
He was super
He
shy.
did not say one word. This is how he got my attention. Because when you had asked me that, I had already met him. Because I was the fucking champion of the volleyball. No, of the what's that game?
Tetherball.
Tetherball. I was the champion of my grade, and I'm up there in the champion circle, and I'm beating every kid. There's a huge line, beating every kid that comes up like, what? Suck it. You know how competitive Frank and I were when we were young?
Yes.
I beat all the chicks in the races, even beat the guys sometimes. I was so competitive. Anyway, beating all these fools. I was the king of the tetherball. Up comes the new kid, and I'm trash talking my ass off. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You freaking new kid, silent weirdo. Like,
Poor Ray.
awful. And he
slaughtered
he
you.
starts off, we're hitting it back and forth. It's chill. It's whatever. And then I realize he's staring me in the eyes. He's not even looking at the ball. He's not looking at staring into my eyes as he hits it higher and harder and faster. He's staring directly into my eyes, and I cannot touch the ball. And I look at him and I'm in awe, like, the kids are cheering. They're like, because I've been whooping their ass for freaking weeks as the tetherball champion. And he's just annihilating me. Then
Victoria's the asshole.
Do you know a guy named Raymond Spencer? Yeah, I fucking know. Yes, I know him. I dream about this son of a bitch. I don't play tetherball anymore. I stopped playing. I was like, fuck this game.
No, Victoria, that's
Kyle. Danielle's like, well, he likes you. And I'm like, how would you know that? He doesn't speak to anyone.
I loved
And then
his
you
sister
said-
Jessica Spencer.
Yes. And then you were like, well, he doesn't speak to anybody. He sits back to back with his sister and writes her letters. And he says in them that he likes you. And I was like, what? And all the chicks were super into Spencer. Raymond Spencer. And so I was just like, why would he like me? But he did, and we dated in 4th grade. I dated 2 guys in 4th grade. What the fuck was I doing? And one of them was Philip, and Philip
I do not.
said he was gonna commit suicide because I said I didn't want to date him
In
anymore.
grade school?
In
Ah.
fucking 4th grade. And then Danielle, get this, like 3 years later, not 3 years, more than 3 years, like 5 years later, yeah. 5 years later, we're in high school, and I would have been like a sophomore, hanging out with like Joyce, and then she started hanging out with Remy. So we ended up going to a party because of Remy, and they're like drinking their asses off there. I was like, what the hell? Did not understand what was going on. I literally did not understand. Remy's downstairs. We gotta go because we're going somewhere else, and we're at this weird party with boys. And I was like, why the hell are I did not know what the fuck was going on. Anyway, so
Party with
Philip
boys?
was there.
What?
So yeah, that's me. I'm like, what is happening? Where did you get this alcohol? Like, I did not understand. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Joyce and I go downstairs. We literally have to go like on a trip with Joyce's mom. And so we're like, we can't be here anymore. I was like, we can't be here anymore. We gotta go. Like, her mom's gonna get pissed if we're not there. And so I'm freaking out. We're like, where's Remy? Joyce and I go downstairs. She's in the room with a boy. I'm like, why would you be locked in a room with a boy
Victoria's
when we have to leave?
What's going on?
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And so I was like, fine. I was like, we gotta go. And then one of the boys came up to me and he was like, you need like to just chill while I was standing in front of the door. And I was like, get away from me. And I pushed him. And he fell into Philip, who fell onto glass.
Oh.
And he cut open his arm, and the nurses apparently had to open it up and scrape. And he hated me. He hated me then. From then on, I would see him, and every single time I would see him, he would just go like this to me. Then, years after that, I came back from Australia, I was hanging out with Frank and Steph in the freaking club, whatever, in the bar. Yeah, in the club, in the bar. And Philip showed up, and he immediately recognized me. He did not look any different than when he was a little kid. And he was like, "Oh my God, Victoria! Oh my God!"
Victoria, you don't look
And I
any
was like,
different.
and then he was following me around. It was creepy.
He wasn't giving you the finger anymore.
He was into me again. This is the weirdest situation. It was great. Don't you have any stories like that where you're like, what is happening?
Yeah. Actually, in 2nd grade when I went to Highland, I was also very good at tetherball. I was. And then I played against you, and Victoria will remember this kid. Danielle, you'll probably remember him too. Do you guys remember Teddy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Big curly-headed fuck. So I was so good at tetherball that Teddy came to play me because Teddy was supposedly good. And I was beating Teddy's ass, and then Teddy totally just started grabbing the rope and cheated, and grabbed the rope and threw it around and threw it so high. And I was like, we were all like, "What the fuck, dude? You can't!" And
Yeah.
he was just a big piece of shit. So that
This is
was my
insane.
tetherball story. But I also dated.
I was also good at tetherball.
That's why
You
she's in
son of a
2nd
bitch.
grade.
Well, Victoria acts like she was the king of the school, but I would have beat her ass.
I said up my
grade.
grade. I
You're
said
talking-
4th grade.
You're talking about Weston.
did it.
Weston, right? 2nd grade. Just to put that into perspective.
I played against a 6th grader and was actually beating him.
Just saying. You're
Get the
calling-
fuck out of here.
You're calling
Get the
an
fuck out of here with your
8-year-old.
6th grade bullshit. It's real. It's real. The competition is so real. You should have seen it, Danielle. On the day when I was losing, I literally had an existential crisis. I'm just like, I can't lose. I don't lose. That's not a possibility. And then Raymond is staring into my eyes, and my jaw is dropped. I'm just like I hear the kids over here that are in line literally cheering like it's the freaking Super Bowl. Like they're just like literally nail her ass to the ground. She talks so much shit, and he just wrecked. And it was because he was so tall and he had these really long arms, and he just fucking boom. And then when he's just boom, just staring at me, and I'm like, "You're a psycho." And that was his way of being like, I like you, girl. I like you.
Let's date. Victoria got.
Job kicking me off my throne in this fucking place where I've only been here 1 year. I have no clout. I have no friends until you drop kick me off my throne. And he's literally the new kid at the school, and he's silent. So basically, he just put me in the exact same position he was. Everyone hates us, but we're really good at tetherball. So now we should be together. He's like, we're on the same level, yo. Like, that's how I was like, to this day, I'm like, that is the most effective way at flirting with a girl. The most effective is to just be like, hey, you think you're good at something? Let me fucking annihilate you at it. I literally, every single day of the week, I'm like, I respect you. I hate your guts right now so bad. But I respect the hell out of you.
That's actually an interesting theory. So I was listening to... what was it? It was Bill Burr, and Bill Burr was talking about how there was this guy and girl that were friends. They were both in the same college, and I think he came over to her apartment all the time. Well, apparently he would constantly go and run and get things for this girl, and they were just friends, remember? So she would be studying or something, and she would say, man, I wish I had my favorite cereal right now, and he'd just run and go get it for her. Bill Burr was saying how it just doesn't work with women to just give them what they want. He says, and he's obviously trying to be funny as well, so he'd say things like, he said, women think that they want that. They think they want somebody, basically a lapdog, but they really don't. For some reason, they respect men that tell them no.
Challenge me.
Yes. And
yeah, challenge me.
He was also saying,
fucking let's go, bro.
He was also saying how he thinks it's because, and I think this is part of the funny part, he thinks it's because women understand that they're fucking crazy too. And so they know that anybody just saying yes to them is like, obviously they can't see it, so they have bad perception skills. So you're a fucking idiot. So it's like, why should I be with you? Because you're an idiot.
Wait, you think I deserve everything?
Yeah.
There's problems.
Yeah.
There are problems you're not addressing. So obviously we're not meant to be together. Because one day it's going to hit you and you're going to leave me. So I need someone who knows. They're like, no, you don't deserve that because you did this. And you're like, I've got things to say to you.
One of the best strategies for getting somebody back is if you break up with somebody, if they break up with you especially, obviously, it's really if they break up with you, or if it's mutual but you don't really want to break up, but you just kind of act like mutual. Either way, the other person's breaking up with you.
Either way, you're being broken up. But somebody's breaking up with you.
It's a surprise to you, but it's a happy surprise, kind of. Not really.
Well, you act like it's a happy surprise, but you're not. But somebody's breaking up with you. The best thing that you can do is just be nonchalant about it and just be like, okay, all right, hey, it was fun. I had a good time. Hope you have a good life. Not just like that. Because a lot of time there's people, and I think it's honestly, I was trying to think about it, because it's worked for me before, but people I think have so much insecurities about themselves that they go, wait, why don't they want me?
Wait, because I ran this by the judges. So I ran this by my friends, and they all agreed that I'm not getting my needs met. But are you trying to say that I'm not meeting your needs right now?
How are you okay?
No. That's
not
what I'm saying. I'm just saying I want you to be happy, and clearly I'm not giving you what you need. But I hope you find what you're looking for. And I hope you have a great life. That's how you end a relationship. It was great. It was great. We had fun, didn't we?
No. No. You can't say too much. Because you say too much, I'm not trying
to do your thing.
I'm saying
this is how you actually break up.
This is Jedi mind tricks. Okay, we're not talking about healthy.
This is literally how I broke up with Daryl. I was just like,
this is Jordan Peterson level. I'm doing Jordan Peterson level mind tricks on people. Okay. There was something else I was going to talk about.
Can we get to the podcast?
Let's. We've had some good talks, except Danielle didn't tell us one story of her being good at tetherball.
One thing. Let me say one thing about Jordan Peterson that he said.
I was like, I didn't tell you.
One thing he said. Jordan Peterson goes, the sexual revolution was changing women from the crimes of them being raped and it changing from a crime of property to a crime of individual person. That was part of the sexual revolution. Okay? So that's what he's saying. And he's saying...
Wait. So he's equating...
No,
At first it was a crime
saying,
of property because they were owned by a man,
Yep.
and now that property has been hurt by a man, raping them, and now it's a crime of personal...
It's a crime of an individual person. Because women are individual.
Because now
people.
women are individual.
Yeah, he's saying that's part of the sexual revolution, which you could view as, okay, that's progress, right? Because people, you could, obviously we can look back and say women were viewed as less than for a very, very long time. So there was a point where
we were
eventually...
viewed that way.
No, that's right.
Frank,
preaching
what
to
are
the
you trying to
damn
say
choir. I agree.
Pigeonholing Frank into
But this is the funny part. This is the funny part. Is Jordan Peterson says, I want to push back, and he's saying like, and women basically feel like they have, it's a much better situation now. And Jordan Peterson says, but I want to push back against that a little bit. And it's like, oh God, you idiot, dude. And he's trying to say how you can get more men on your side if it's viewed almost as a crime of property instead of a crime of personhood. That's all I'm saying. He's a piece of garbage.
I hate
and nobody should like him. Just saying. Anyway, let's move on. How'd the book go?
Hey, I read an article while I was getting my hair done today. I read an article, and I just sent it to both of you. But there are so many things in this article that I was like, yes.
What is it about?
It's called "The State of Women. It's Not Working." And it's funny, not funny. But if you click on check our report, and you read it just, I read even this first, before you get to the first advertisement or whatever, I was just like, yes to everything. But anyway, just, food for thought later. And some of the statistics in there before you even click into the article of like, I don't know. It was one of those things that hit me today of like,
yeah. Okay.
It's hard
Are
to...
you... Welcome to the party. What?
Frankie. No,
She didn't know, Frank. She didn't know.
Like,
No,
what?
but it's just like, when you internalize stuff and you're like, am I crazy? And then it gets validated and you're like, nope, I'm not crazy. The world
men are
is-
pieces
I'm
of
not
garbage.
crazy.
Men are pieces of garbage. I've been on board with this for a while. I know I'm a piece of garbage. So.
I'm just saying. I need to...
Careful.
Yep. I need to work on like building my village for my sanity. Like that's what I've come to realize. Like I need to work on building my village. And part of that village lives over there and I need them to move here. So just know I'm going to be pushing.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to be pushing Mom hard for you guys to move over here. So just
I've been talking to her about it.
Good.
Because
I want Frankie to take her like on job searches.
Yes. Yeah.
While the kids are in school.
That's what
on
I was
Friday.
just talking to her. Yeah. Because she's a little insecure about it. She needs a boost. She needs some support.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yes, Danielle. Yeah. You're not crazy. You're not crazy at all.
Women have been
Sometimes I
doing
feel
a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's because the answer is either I am crazy, which you're like, I don't think that's true. But either I am crazy or how the hell am I going to deal with this information? So you sit somewhere in the middle of just like, I'm just going to keep going.
I'm
and hope that this gets better.
Trucking along.
Yeah, that's what you do because you're just like, I can't confront all of this right now. It's a lot of things that I've kind of been thinking about and it's a lot and I'm I might just, something's gonna snap. Yeah. So
That's what I'm honestly worried about. It's like, okay, so if I don't build out what I need, like, I will eventually snap, right? Like, at some point, something's got to give. It's like, I really don't want to blow up my world, but anyway, FYI. I think this article is really good.
Yeah.
It is, and also, you are not crazy.
But this book was good. It was.
Danielle, you're the hardest working person in our family.
Yeah. Most responsible. It's a hard job.
Most responsible and hardest working.
We see that. You are acknowledged.
Thanks.
And we know that you don't always feel strong, even if you pretty much always seem like you are very strong. You're allowed to be vulnerable. And right now is a moment of vulnerability where Yelly is telling us that she's felt a little crazy and she's internalized a lot of stuff. That's okay. We're here for you.
I was laying in bed the other day. And I couldn't sleep, and Jason's like, what? He said something like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm just stressed out. And he's like, why? And I'm like, 'cause life's hard. And he's like, what's hard? And I'm like, everything is hard. Like, what are you?
You're like, I have 10 things. I have 10 things I'm adding to your list right now.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh no. You're like, are you stressed? All right. So now we're on the same page. Now no one sleeps. Good job, Jason. He's like, what did you do? That's the way you handle that next time.
Well,
I'm adding 10 things to your list. It'll ease my stress and hopefully it'll bring yours up to my level so we can talk because I have problems. We're both not invested in this right now.
Well, I read they took some comments from women that read Skim or whatever, and some of them were really good, like of how they've been managing their stress in their lives, and one of them was like, and this to me was like, oh, I could totally do that. Like, that spoke to me because she was like, because I need to validate things, right? I need to validate that I'm not crazy. But she's like, I took a project management program, and she's like, and I mapped out everything that's on my plate so I could visually show my husband, like, this is all I'm managing.
Do it.
Yeah,
do that.
Like, and she's like, so then he took some of it off of her plate, and I'm like, that is so smart, because
do that.
Anyway, I will. I'm going to. But it just spoke to me this
especially
morning.
With the what's hard. You're like, okay, all right, you're gonna find out. You ask the question, you get a fucking answer. I mean, that's the way I'd be talking. Still, yeah, that's totally do that. That's a really good thing.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I just lean into God. Just like do something, okay? Because do something here.
Anyway, book was good. I can't
Whoa,
believe
that's
how
not
close.
how we. Jesus.
I can't believe how close it is.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We haven't even said that.
Welcome to the
Hello.
podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for listening to us.
Unseasoned.
Yeah. We're called Unseasoned Reviews, and if
Put a little.
do we have a title that pops up? Unseasoned
yeah, we
Reviews.
do, at the very beginning.
A
At the
little
very
salt
beginning,
shaker or something.
I have the
Salt shaker.
no.
Just
at
the sound of
no,
the
I
sound
have
of
the-
seasoning.
I have the music
Or-
that comes up. No, not Salt Bay. Salt Bay, dude. Actually, real quick, guys. Did you see at the FIFA World Cup, Salt Bay went down on the field while Argentina was celebrating, and he was like forcing himself to take pictures with everybody, and people were like, "Stop!" Like he grabbed Lionel
I don't
Messi.
even know who that is.
Salt Bay's the guy that did this, where he let salt drip down. Very tan.
And he's forcing people to take photos with him.
Yeah, Lionel Messi, one of the two most famous soccer players in the world. It's him and Ronaldo. Obviously, there's some other people coming up, but those are like the two top ones. And Lionel Messi like shook his hand and everything, but like looked away and was trying to walk. But Salt Bay held him there, and then like you see him like
It's like,
take a picture
who do
together.
you think you are?
Yeah, and that time is for like family and friends, but Salt Bay was down there, so the whole internet went like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, douche. So
Yeah.
no more Salt Bay.
You mean he's canceled?
He's done.
Jeez Louise.
Listen,
They
dude.
just-
Listen, dude. There's one thing the internet can't stand, and that's cringe. If you're cringe, Be gone. It's worse than
Not true. Not true. Not true. There are a lot of cringy people that people are like, yes. Aubrey Plaza is
She's
one of the
not cringe.
cringiest people.
She's not cringe. That's not cringe.
What am I getting confused in here?
Cringe is cringe, dude. She is purposefully awkward. That's not cringe.
I don't think it's purposeful. I think she is awkward.
Well, she's awkward
that's
too,
her thing.
but that's not cringe. Cringe is like literally cringe is like forcing yourself down onto the field to make the moment about you.
So cringe is like
cringe is bad.
kind of bad.
Aubrey Plaza, what she does, there's nothing. She's not being bad. She's like, yeah, one time I, stood outside in a costume, or I followed my teacher around in a costume, and you're like, what the fuck? Dude, that's so weird. But that's not cringe. Cringe is
That's
being
not
like, cringe is like making something about you being selfish in a situation where it's like, dude. Yeah, or like thinking that you're a comedian and then you go up on stage to like perform or something, and thinking you're super funny. People
cringe
should
is
laugh.
like low key, or even high key narcissism. We don't like that.
I don't know if I don't know enough about narcissism to claim that it's. I'd have to have an in-depth knowledge. So I don't know.
Being like,
narcissism.
it's about me.
Yeah,
Screw other people, what they're doing. It's about me and what I want right now.
It's not having
It's
self-awareness.
It's like a couple proposing, like a guy proposing at someone else's wedding.
That's a bit cringe. Yeah, it's a bit, because it's like, wait, this is about them.
This is their day.
Yeah,
not
like
yours.
you'd have to check with them. If you check with them beforehand, it's not cringe. If you don't check with them beforehand, it's a little cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
terrible at weddings because I hate them. Just because, I mean, I like them. I like what they stand for. But I don't
love.
like... No, I like the love and all that. It's just when you go and it's all the pomp and circumstance. I want my wedding to be like a party where I want it to be so dry where it's just like, do you? And I'm like, I do. I don't know, do you? And they're like, totally, man. I showed up. And you're like, nice. And then it's just party the rest of the time. I don't want a poem. I don't want anybody to be walking anybody anywhere. I'm gonna walk up there myself. I want to be here. And hello
That's
to all
'cause you
my
don't like
family. I'll
that.
probably be weird. I'll turn around and I'll be weird to you guys, and I'll be like, so glad you showed up. And I'm glad you showed up. And I'm glad you showed up. And I'm glad you showed up. Just like,
Once you start
Why?
that, it's the whole. It's like everyone.
and I'm glad you showed up. And I'm also glad.
I don't know who you
Just-
are.
I don't know that
Philip,
person.
why are you here?
Yeah, Philip. He's like, he's got like some of the wedding cake already in his mouth. That would be funny. That would be so funny. I'd be like, yes.
Dude.
Are you eating the cake? Damn it.
dude. When I went to the last wedding I went to, there was the bridal party, on the groomsmen and the bridesmaid side. When they were doing their little speeches, there was probably 3 on each side. They all
Who does a speech?
everybody on the they were all doing it. No,
It's-
it does.
they-
This is in this wedding. It's
Yeah,
not,
it depends on the wedding.
everybody's different, but they're all
Oh.
doing a little speech, a little toast or whatever, from the bridal party, and
Oh, okay.
every single person read a passage from the Bible, and it was like they literally were just like reading, like it wasn't inspirational, it was just because that's where you're getting into, this is what people do at weddings, and so I have to do it. And it's not coming from the heart in any sense of the word. And it was just like, this is what makes people hate weddings, is because this is bullshit. And so it's like, just don't give a toast if you're just going to read from the Bible. But then the father of the bride spoke, and he spoke from the heart, and it was very okay. But this is the point of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so
I
I
would
get what
hate
you're
that
talking about, the
moment.
pomp
I
and
would say
circumstance. Yeah.
such.
I
It's
cut.
cringe. It's
I
cringe.
cut a
That's
lot of stuff out of my. You're supposed
not
to do.
enough, dude.
I can't remember it. I was really hungover, but sorry about that. It was so bad. Well, the night before when Matthew, I should have known. This was the moment that seared into my brain when Matthew ran up to all of us at the table and he goes like this. drinks are only $4. And I should have known right then when tray after tray of drinks kept coming that all of us were going to be so fucking drunk. And he shit his pants that night. So, into Mom's hamper. He thought he was going to Mom's hamper, but he was still wearing his pants.
That's disgusting. Any more about it?
He was like,
I'll tell you what. Guess who was fine
he
the
was
next
like,
day?
I shit my pants.
I was.
And I was
fine.
like, what? And he was like, shh. I shit my pants. Into your mom's
Victoria,
hamper.
I don't
was
want to
like,
hear any
what?
more about this. It's disgusting. This is absolutely
It's so
disgusting.
It's so funny.
No, it's
It was
gross.
the funniest
Fucking
thing.
gross.
I just really did like him very much. He was really mean. But anyway,
Look at his hands. Look how big they are compared to my face, man. I have humongous, like, weird.
put your hand
hands.
up there, Yelly.
Look at this thing. I have a weird.
Put it on the other side. There you go. Yeah, your hands are really big. Yeah, look at my face. Your hands are really big for your
I
freaking head.
know. I've always had big hands. Danielle's got big hands too.
No, Danielle's are pretty normal.
No, they're not.
You guys, why do you guys have such big ass hands? What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I've always had big hands. You don't have any.
I would hope.
I thought my hands were really big, but they're not in comparison.
Not
to you
comparison
guys'.
to ours. We have big hands.
Jeez.
I've always had big hands. I have big palms. My fingers aren't even that big. It's my palms that are humongous.
Oh my gosh!
Like yours seem pretty normal, but my palms are just. I have little sausage
They are.
fingers.
I don't.
You
We probably have the same. Idiot.
Can we do this podcast? I've been down here for an hour and a half.
we just love each other so much.
No, you haven't. You've been down here for an hour and 7 minutes.
It's a long time.
8 minutes. An hour and 8 minutes. And we've been recording for an hour and 2. So
I'm like, I
shut
love
the
you guys,
fuck
and y'all's
up.
like, I gotta leave. That's like, I'm
All right,
like, geez.
all right, all right.
When
Let's.
Frankie's the killer. I can't
let's-
be down here for long.
Yeah,
Listen.
Frank, stop it. Stop.
Bring the
You
comedy.
told me my hands are huge.
You have huge hands,
You're coming into my mic.
and Jordan Peterson says that you're a piece of property. So, well, you shut up.
He's a piece of garbage, man. Nobody should listen to him.
And you're not showing up enough for women, so
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying, why are you surprised by this article?
I
Hey,
wasn't.
women are under a
did
lot of
I-
stress and pressure because they do too much.
I didn't say I
compared to
was
men.
surprised. I said it hit me hard.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I'm just messing. I
Because
have
she
to-
realizes
I
she's
have
to go
doing
upstairs
all of
and
those
cry.
things without realizing it. It's a good idea. I just cry now if I need to.
Dude,
Whatever.
I
fuck it.
felt
like
crying
I'm not
the other day,
building it up.
but it went away. So
Did you let it
I didn't.
happen?
I
Just you gotta
went
let it
away.
happen.
I know, and it went away. Oh, I was at work. I was at work, and I was thinking about there was something talking about. I think it was some song that was talking about their daughters, like having a daughter or something. And I thought about a movie, and I was like, it kind of made me sad. And I was like, maybe I need to cry tonight. And I felt like that, and then I just never did. I forgot about it. And so
Yeah. You need to. It's like literally making you tired right now.
that's not.
That's what's making you tired.
Okay.
But anyway,
welcome
let's
to the podcast.
let's talk about the book, and let's first announce what we read. So we read The Princess Bride.
Yes, we did. By,
Only
by
the good
William.
parts.
Goldman?
William.
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
yeah. Okay, we need to talk about that a little bit.
I know.
That was surprising.
It was.
It was surprising.
What was surprising?
Stop, Danielle. Stop it.
It was
We got to the meeting. We got to the meeting, and I put it at the title, and I say the title. We didn't talk about that. And you're like, that's literally why we're all here. Like, shut the fuck up.
I don't know what's happening with them.
Okay. Wait, who's the author? Who's the author?
William Goldman.
Okay, did I get that right?
I wonder if he's Jewish.
He's gotta be Jewish.
We know he's Jewish either.
I forgot.
So
It's because Goldman. That's the joke. Because it's
It should be Goldstein.
No, Goldman, because somebody makes a joke literally about it.
They all say that they have all the gold, and some of their last names are Goldman. So at some point, a lot of their surnames are just us being racist as hell. There's Goldman, you son of a bitch. We just thought the name sounded good, so we kept it.
Actually, very funny. The other day, so Joe Rogan, like last month, got a bunch of crap because he had somebody on his show and he was saying how it's okay to say that Jewish people love money. It's just like saying Italians love pizza. Okay, Joe. Yeah, like, all right, well.
Why would you even differentiate anyone? Like any group of people, you could say they love money. Of course they do. It makes the world go around. We need it.
Yeah.
But not everyone loves pizza.
I think everybody does love pizza, pretty much. For the most part, like if you
Yeah, put pineapple on it and you got a debate. So.
No.
Yeah. It's not. There's a ton of the world that's like.
You don't have to have pineapple on pizza. So.
All right.
I'm just saying you can though. And that's a problem for a lot of people.
Should we? It is a problem for me.
Should
we talk a little bit?
Jordan Peterson listener, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I listen to everybody because I'm an unbiased scientist.
She also has
Can we talk about the author?
I don't.
Do we have any information on the author? I do have the book. Hold on.
Here's
what we know. He has an introduction.
Still have it.
Yes.
Where he talks. His introduction was weird. Troy, did you read it?
I did. And then I kind of read it, and then I was like,
yeah,
okay, I don't know. This guy's weird.
He's weird, man.
He is weird.
No offense. He's
like
weird.
TMI.
Okay, before we say all this, let's just say this. Okay. So we read The Princess Bride. And if you decide to read it like we did because we loved the movie and we thought, hey, the book might be awesome.
It's my favorite.
You will
movie.
immediately find out. Oh yeah, it's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. You will find out that it's an abridged version. It's a shortened version. It's called Just the Good Parts, the book. So you can get the regular version and you can get the Just the Good Parts version. And the reason why is because the guy who wrote the screenplay for Princess Bride is called... No, Morgenstern's, the author.
The guy
Morgenstern
that
wrote the original. But I'm talking about the book that we read. William Goldman made it shorter. He just did the good parts. That's what it's literally called if you look it up. And he wrote the screenplay for the movie. So that's the book that we read, is the shortened version. And he does little excerpts where he talks about like different parts he took out of it.
Yeah.
It's really weird. You're not okay if you haven't read this yet, which I think everyone is gonna highly recommend that you read it. I highly recommend you read it. But it starts off a little friggin' hanky. You're just like, what is going on in here? Like, it starts out with an introduction, which you're like, number one, why am I getting an introduction about? You're confused because you're like, wait, someone else wrote this book, but now you're writing the book and you're giving the introduction about it, like. And then you figure out that he's a fan of Morgenstern, but like you're like finding out how he became a fan, how he like became interested in it, and then like the trip that he went on to like go and look at Morgenstern's writings, tons of stuff. You're just like, what is this? What's happening? So let me just tell you, definitely read the book. I think you should read it. It starts weird. It's very weird. Yeah. So go, Frank. Tell us about the difference between Morgenstern and William Goldman.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. First off, if you've seen the movie, you don't need to read the book. That's my opinion. Because it's literally shot for shot, almost the exact same.
You don't need to read this book because it is the good parts version.
You don't need to read the old one either.
I want to read the full version.
Well, you go read it.
I will. It's a translation. Because it was originally written in French, but there is an English translation.
I thought he was Florinese.
Florinese.
Isn't it Morgenstern?
I don't know what language this means. That's the language.
Or is it
I think
Italian?
Did he write it about Florence? But he was not Italian.
I thought it was
No,
French.
This is
Hang
why
on.
it's called Unseasoned. 'cause
We did not prep for this.
Languages, other countries. Shit.
Yeah,
I didn't study. I didn't
I
study
think
up for this.
Victoria was racially profiling somebody earlier. And that tells
Yeah,
you
I
all you need
was.
to know.
Frank, when am I not racial profiling people?
Oh,
I mean, let's be
okay.
real.
racially
Just lean into it.
profiling.
If they start aggressively going at you, just be like, yeah, that's what I do for a living. Okay.
But anyway, so my thoughts
I can't research this. I just found out that Morgenstern is a weapon. It is.
Okay. Well,
It's a
anyway.
weapon consisting of a ball set with spikes attached to the end of a club, often attached by a chain. And everybody in their head pictures that. That's a Morgenstern. Now we know.
Oh, it's called a flail.
Oh, that's a
Well,
Morgenstern.
The book was good. I really enjoyed
But I mean,
it.
like, do you need to read it? Let's be honest here, people. You need to read it if you've seen the movie. This book.
I don't know. I liked what he said at the end, where he talked about the ending in the book and how he thought it should end and what.
He's not on task.
Yes, I am. William Goldman, as our fictitious narrator, would have us believe that Florin was once a real country located between present-day Sweden and Germany, but the truth is that the place never existed. There is no Morgenstern. We've all been fooled.
That's not true.
This was just said to me. I was like, this is the most unseasoned thing that's ever happened.
We need to look up the original book.
Look at, I don't think there is one. I don't think Florin is a real
Kidding me?
place.
Not Florin, Florence. Is it?
It's not Florence. It's
Oh,
Florin.
dude, maybe there's not, man.
We should just be fired.
Good jobs, you guys. It's not real. They just got us. It's not literally the good parts at all. There is no other book. There is no Morgenstern.
You made all this up? That's awesome, dude.
No.
That's awesome. He's the original author of The Princess. Oh, no.
We're getting trolled hard right now, guys.
Goldman wrote another novel, The Silent Gondoliers, under the pen name of Morgenstern.
There is
Oh, so this
no
is all
Morgenstern.
this is all a lie.
Yeah, there is no Florin.
So
There's no
we read all
Morgenstern. There's
that-
no other book.
We read all that introduction going,
I hate him now.
I think it's awesome, dude. I think it's awesome that he did that because he got me, dudes. You're so stupid. It's because we didn't do any research at all.
We got trolled so hard. We're like reading the book like, this guy's a freaking idiot. Nope, he's trolling you.
He's trolled. I wonder if he actually trolled about his wife because he talked major shit about it. How he didn't love her.
I was wondering about it. I was like, is he gonna get down with the Sandy chick? I feel bad. I feel
Yeah.
bad for
I
reading this.
know.
That was all
I
in the
know.
introduction. That's funny.
That's.
We gotta restart this.
No, we don't, dude. That's all going in.
Where we're like, this guy's weird.
We're like, wait a
Didn't do any
second.
research because it was just like I just take it at face value that, hey, okay, this was. I figured he was talking about Florence, Italy.
I thought he was talking about.
I didn't. He kept saying Florin. I know the difference between the spellings. He literally made up a language, Florinese.
That's
Sick though. So
All right, get back into it, guys. Come on, pull yourselves together. We've been trolled.
my thing is
Danielle's
they literally
still...
made.
Frank, stop! Danielle's still strapped in to her phone. She's like, what? She's reading all she can
No,
about
Tori,
it.
it's
Like,
fake.
I've been...
Danielle, it's fake. He literally he wrote under the pen name Morgenstern. You know it's fake. So
How do we feel? How does everybody feel?
listen? That's awesome, man.
I
'Cause-
wanted to read the full version.
He got you so hard.
He
Dude,
did.
okay. So now let's say this. this is why I thought Danielle was absolutely insane for wanting to read the full version, is because Goldman's sitting there telling us that the full version has like 112 pages on basically packing. And so why the hell would you want to read that? Why would you want to know about that? Why would you want to know about all the different lines of kings in
But he also
Lauren?
says that he gives a history of his, like a family history.
Yeah,
and
why
he
would you want
talks-
to know all that?
I want to know.
But it's literally just naming
This
people.
is my favorite movie.
So your favorite part about Lord of the Rings was when they talk about the lines of ancestry in Lord of the Rings? That's your favorite part?
That is
Because guess what? It's not.
Guess
It's
what?
not your favorite
Guess
part.
what? No, I said this is my favorite movie, and I want to know everything about it, and that would include.
Oh, so you
the
know,
full
so you also
version.
really like Lord of the Rings, and so you must
I
know a lot
don't.
about the lines
You
of ancestry.
like
No,
Lord of the
you
Rings.
said you loved it.
I do, and I like when
No,
my
you and
favorite part is
Victoria.
when Gandalf is like, look to on the 5th day,
Mhm,
look to the east,
mhm.
and then they show up, and you're like, oh yeah, because it makes you forget, and then Gandalf shows up, and you're like, oh my
And then
god,
Helm's
and then
Deep,
you see the
and they're
fear,
about to
you
die.
see the fear.
Yep. Yeah, that's the good parts, because it's the good
That's
stuff.
the good part.
But for you to say,
That's
I
the good
don't
stuff.
know everything about it. Me. Just saying.
Look, we've all been trolled today enough, Frank. You need to just give Danielle
I
a fucking
can't. I
break.
don't have an off switch.
She's dying.
and I don't have an off switch, and I think I have a problem.
Danielle's like,
We all have problems. We
well,
already established
shoot.
that.
I just love that
Bullshit.
we were all trolled.
Read,
But it's
yeah, just
seriously-
watch the movie. At
But
this point.
seriously, it is the movie, though.
No,
This book
okay,
is
I'm gonna
literally the
no,
movie.
okay.
There's very
Give
few differences.
and I want to name one that really stood out to me that was different, and then I was like, wait, not different, but just more. And I was like, honestly, I wish I hadn't have read this when I read this part, because in the movie they have the prince, and he's awful, obviously, but the way they kind of set it up in the movie is where it's more the count that's awful. Like, he's a torturer, he's doing all, they kind of make the prince out to be like, he's definitely strategic, he's willing to kill the bride to get the country of Gilder in trouble and go to war with them. So he's not above that kind of calculated decisions and not caring about human life. So he's bad. But like in the book, he literally has a zoo of animals that he attacks. And they put out one scene in there with a freaking orangutan, and they detail it, and I was so upset. And I started to skim it because I was like, I'm not gonna read this. I'm not gonna fucking read how a grown man just for sport is attacking an animal that does not want to attack you at all. And then he kills it because he kills all the animals that he's holed up in this zoo because he's the greatest hunter. So in the book, you get more hatred toward the prince. You really don't want the prince to win, and you really do understand how much it hurts to have the prince live in the end. But then it makes the Wesley part where Wesley is telling the prince to the pain instead of to the death. He's saying to the pain, where he's going to make him live in horrible disfigurement and all of that, makes that make way more sense and way more justifiable, where you're like, he is an awful man. He is an awful man. It's not the count. It's not that he's just complacent in the face of violence, and not just violence, but what's that word? Evil.
Torture.
An evil person.
Yeah.
It's not just that. He is a participant in that sort of behavior, and he also deserves to the pain. So I'll just say that if you want to read the book and you want to get a little bit more in depth, not too much, like Frank and Danielle are saying, not too much more in depth with what's going on, but it does get you a little deeper, and it makes things make a little more sense, and it kind of pisses you off because you want the prince to die. I want the prince to die. I think he should be dead. He's an asshole. And I think all the animals in the zoo should be brought back to where they respectively come from.
I agree. That's a creepy part when Fezzik and
Inigo.
are going down the stairs and encountering all those different stuff, it's like, oh.
Yeah, that was different.
But I love how he sets it up because he's like, but they weren't really gonna be able to get down to that level. And you're like, oh shit. And so you know, and they're just like, okay, we just gotta make it another one. And you're going in your head like, no, you're not gonna make it, man. You're not gonna make it there. I know this. Like it really does give me the sense of adventure.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? I'm gonna take it back. Read the book because I was excited a lot of the time. Oh gosh, hold on. I almost forgot. I'm gonna say something. I gotta say something right now. And then you got Danielle. Okay. So you remember the first scene where you're getting to know the bride, you're getting to know what she's all about.
Buttercup.
And she's dirty, but Buttercup is like a dirty, horse-loving. She's a horse girl.
She's a
dirty
kind
horse
of a
girl.
stupid woman, yeah.
And she's just.
Hey, now this is something I wanted to talk about because she calls herself stupid and other people kind of call her
Where are you
stupid.
at in the argument?
So I think he wrote her as a kind of stupid woman. And she even says she has thoughts, and as long as she doesn't share them with other people, she'll be fine. Which makes it seem like that old saying of, if you're a fool, like don't open your mouth and prove it or something like that. Let people think it, but don't open your mouth and prove it. That's almost what she's saying.
I think I would have taken that. I think I would have taken that a little different way, as in, if people don't know what you're thinking, they can't use your thinking against you.
No, because they set it up multiple times. It's not the one piece of evidence; it's the collection. I think they set it up as Buttercup is a little bit dumb.
Let me explain this. Let me explain this. But Buttercup. She basically, the whole thing is she wants to be left alone to enjoy the things that she knows she enjoys. She likes to ride around. She doesn't like to care about a lot of things. She doesn't care about hanging out with women. She doesn't care about hanging out with men. She doesn't care. She just wants to live her life in peace. And she has very specific things that she likes. Wesley is
it's one thing. She just liked riding her horse.
Yeah, and being alone. So she's definitely a horse girl. Anyway, so Wesley is living in this little shack out behind the deal, and he does all the hard work around the farm. Like he feeds the animals and he's tending to all the fences and he's doing all the slave work. He's doing that. Anyway, the frickin' scene, Danielle, when she's like realizes that she loves him. Is different than the movie.
After a woman is admiring him and she's like, wait a second.
Why are you just addressing this to Danielle?
Because she's the girl
I can't enjoy
and I'm
that
a girl. Anyway, listen. Okay, so when she goes up, Frank. Okay, Frank. When she goes up, she goes. I told you he needs to cry. He needs to let it out.
No,
So
what I'm saying is you're being
hug.
sexist right here by acting like, hey, Danielle, let me talk to you about the scene because Frank can't possibly understand any of this. Like, what a sexist piece of garbage
Can I
you're
have
being.
Fine. You know what? Fine.
We're literally doing a podcast. Can't we share this entire thing together? Hey,
Listen,
you know what? Hey, Danielle,
I'll tell you.
I want to talk to you about something specifically that happened. Victoria, shut your mouth. Don't think about it. Don't talk about it. That's what you're doing to me here.
I'm sorry.
Open
I was
it
not
up a
trying to
little.
do that to you. I was not trying to do that to you. I'm going to tell you right now, Frank. Okay, you remember when
I know
Buttercup
exactly what you're talking about. She's
goes
talking about
up?
the Countess.
No, when she goes to the door, and she's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you more than I loved you 20 minutes ago. Like I literally, like it's insane. It's growing
Basically,
so big.
my love
Basically,
is
I
exponentially
can't.
growing.
It's awful. It's so much. It's crazy. And he closes the door, and I threw the book, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
I laughed out loud.
And-
I laughed out loud.
Oh my god! Why? That's my question.
I
I
was
was like,
like,
how
oh,
did you respond to this?
I
he's like,
laughed
he's just like
so
standing
hard.
there, just like
Yes.
she says it
Yes.
all,
And
then
slams
he's
the
like-
door.
and you're like, what does this mean? And then he comes back, and he's like, I'm leaving, and she's like, because of what I said. Oh my god, I'm so
You're like, I was just
silly.
kidding.
Why did I say that? I
that
know.
was a joke.
I know. What was your? Yeah, that's the thing. Is what's your reaction to it? Because I was like, oh my god, I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it in my body. You know when you have too much emotion in your body? That's what it was like.
Yeah, I mean, it was for sure embarrassing to her. But That's embarrassing. That's
It's
what
in cringe. That's the cringiness for me, where I'm just like, I don't like this.
No, that's not cringe. That's awkward. That's awkward.
I said it's cringy for me
Yeah, but
because
it's
I
not.
know people's
Okay.
feelings are not being managed. So it's
Yeah,
like,
Oh, rough.
That's so
dude.
good.
it's rough. Like
If
my
you what's it called? Unrequited love? Unrequited?
Yeah, unrequited.
Whatever it is. I don't think it's doesn't matter. However you pronounce that
Unrequited.
word.
Unrequited.
Dude, that's a rough one, and we've all had it before. We've all had that before. And maybe it wasn't, true love, but we've had rejection. And so but I laugh. It's so funny. Like that's what's great about this book is, and that's why we chose it, because we knew it was gonna be funny.
So like if you put yourself in his shoes,
Yeah.
I'm like, cause he's like, bitch, I've loved you for all this time.
Yep.
And
I
now
know.
And you've been an asshole
you're
to
gonna
me.
come to me today, and he's like, F you.
Yeah.
But then he's like, well, shit, I do love you.
I
you
know,
should
but
figure
that's
this
it.
out.
Why
I
did he
love
do
the way
it?
he
Why did he
talks to her
slam the
though,
door?
because in his mind, that's the great thing about reading the book. Because in his mind, he was like, he knows that she loves him. So he's like, there's only one option at this point, because he's a very strong, silent type where he's like, okay, I know I love her. He's known that for years. She's now come and said she loves me. And in his mind,
He's like,
now it's settled. Like she doesn't need to know that he loves her, because he's like,
like,
of course I love you.
I need
Why
to
have
put
I
the
dealt with
plan
this
into
shit
action.
all this time? Yeah, he's just a man of action. So he's like, okay, well, if you love me, we can't live in this shack. This sucks. So I gotta go do something about it. And so he's like, all right, I'll close the door and I'll start getting to work. And he does.
Moving
He
on to
literally comes
phase
back to her.
2.
Yeah, phase 2 of the plan, execute. He's like, all right, I gotta go to America. The boat's leaving. Keep your health and stuff, because I will be back. I'm gonna go. It's gonna be many years. I'm gonna be on the ocean. And she's just like, what? What? And he's like, why do you think I've dealt with this? He explains it in so many words without ever once being like, well, of course I love you too. And then at the end, she's like, well, why don't you just tell me you love me? And he's like, is that how easy it is? And she's like, yes. And he's like, okay, I love you. And you're like, why do we need to hear it?
This is
Because
the
we do need to hear
difference
it.
between
This
men
is
and
what I
women.
need to know. This is what I need to just fucking say it to me. He's like, I've shown it to you. I've proved it to you. Literally over like a decade now. I've lived here and I've dealt with every little fucking thing you want me to do. And all you need me to say is I love you. Yes, that's all I need. I don't care. Lay down on the ground and let the grass grow over you. But if you tell me you love me, then it's all fine. Like, I just don't get it. I loved it. I love that mode. Never mind. Read the book.
Okay,
it's
different.
so good. If
you
want
should.
feel good.
You should read the book. Segue.
You don't need to.
I read a book one time, and it was about this married couple, and she kept telling him, I need more help around the house. And so like he kept doing stuff, but he kept doing more stuff outside too. So he like planted more trees and like grew out their garden, like kept doing stuff outside. And she's finally was like, I don't want to be with you anymore because you're not listening to me. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, have you seen the landscape? But it's like you have to be explicit to each other. Like, he's like, and she's like, I need you to help with the dishes. And he's like, what, the dishes? Like, it's
We have more fruit and vegetables covering our plates, and they're all dirty. He's like, that's because I built a garden. It's huge. She's like, it's my work. It's called active listening, and we all need to.
Well, and being
Follow-up
very
questions.
explicit in what you.
What do you mean when you say
What do you
help?
need? Yes, exactly.
When you say I need help, specifically, what do you need help with?
Exactly.
That's the easiest way
Like,
to
be
solve this.
specific. That is like.
I know. A lot of
important in
people are afraid of
relationships.
talking, though. A lot of people are afraid of talking. They're afraid of it.
Afraid of being
I don't get it
vulnerable.
either, because it's just like we're supposed to love each other.
Yeah, we don't want to be vulnerable.
I do. I love being vulnerable. I want to tell you about it.
Well, you
I
are
freaking
People are a
talk to
little
trees.
too vulnerable though. And it's like, just
Yes, sometimes.
back up, dude.
Sometimes you need to just pull.
That's
your
Frank's
shit
thing.
together.
You know what? I need help around the house. What do you specifically mean, Frank? I mean, I need you to hold your emotions in there. I need your emotions. I need your emotions to remain inside, like mine do. Just a little. Not all the way. I'm not asking for all the way, just a little bit more. I just want to watch football without you telling me about how it's an awful sport and crying about it, okay? Just in that moment, just enjoy the sport with me. Too vulnerable. A little too vulnerable.
Dude, you know the people though that like share all the sob story that goes on with their life on social media? Stop being vulnerable, okay? Chill the fuck out.
Well, Frank,
Hold that in.
that's their outlet because at home they were told to stop being vulnerable.
Hey, guess what?
All of us have to
Hey,
deal with it.
No, guess
Takes
what?
a village. Takes a village, Frank.
Nope, that's dumb. And you should not put it on there because nobody gives a shit about
before I got rid of my Facebook, and then I'm like, eventually I was like, why am I?
it.
Yeah.
That's
Because you
what I'm
realize all
talking
your
about.
friends were those people. I'm just kidding.
or people like that are like coworkers or barely they're acquaintances really, and then they
Yeah.
get way too vulnerable and you're like, what are you doing? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Why are you telling me that?
They
when you
have
were-
no one else.
Okay, but build to it. I don't come in hot. You know, you're gonna burn.
How was your grocery shopping trip? It was fine, but I have cancer, so you know it's hard.
No, it's more like my mom had cancer and died when I was 8, and it's like.
Died when I
Okay.
was 8, and now I have abandonment issues. So every time I clock out at work, I cry a little bit. Okay.
Okay, well, have a nice day, I guess.
Frankie's like, I have my own trouble going on. I don't need
do. I
yours
don't care.
piling
I don't
piling
need.
up on
Just
me.
do like I do and cry during your lunch break, and then maybe you won't cry so much.
No, I just-
clock out time.
I just learned to put it
And
in the
then-
walls.
And then
Okay.
the person's like, "Okay, thanks for the advice." I'm down to a single tear now at the end of the day, not many.
Anyway, I don't know what we're talking. But it was a good book. So if you like reading, yeah, absolutely read it. It's funny. It's got
my
love
gosh.
story. It's got action. It's got adventure. I don't think you get to learn about Inigo and Fezzik's
Fezzik.
backstory in the movie.
As
right?
much in the movie.
I don't think we really get to learn about it. So you get to learn about it here, which is very cool. It's a little shorter, but story about it, but it's enough to really make you buy into the characters even more. Already they're well loved, but it just makes you love them even more.
Do you realize that the Morgenstern Museum, that's a lie? That's fake. The
Yeah.
guy who was there,
Yeah.
who was a dick, that was
Yeah.
fake too.
Yep, his grandson,
I'm
fake.
really upset about it. No, I'm
Even
sad.
does he have? So Goldman tells in the introduction how he has
doesn't
this
even
kid
know
that's a
any
fat
children.
kid. Does he even have a
Doesn't even
kid?
have a child.
And is he fat? I want to know if he has an obese child.
I'm really still upset.
Look up. Does William Goldman have a wife named
He
Helen?
made it all up. But the worst
He had to
thing,
have made
though,
it up.
at the end of this is that we're like, it's all made up. And he's like, it's called fiction. And you're like, shut your mouth. Shut your dirty mouth.
Dick mouth.
You're a
William
fourth
Goldman.
wall breaking dick.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
you are.
good though, dude. But the thing is he
Frank's
wrote one
Frank's
of the
only
best
happy about it now
stories.
that he knows it's a big troll. He's like,
Dude, it's so
"Yes."
good. No, it's so good because it was lame, like just hearing about this stuff because you're like, what is happening here? Like, I don't know. It seemed like too long. But he was just really buying into the I'm gonna tell this fake story and create this fake life almost. But the thing is after reading this book, just made me go, dude, The Princess Bride is a really damn good movie and book.
It
Obviously,
is.
It's got love. It's
Such
got
a good
adventure.
movie.
It's got comedy. Like, it's
Yeah, it's got all of it.
His wife is
everything.
Aline.
so it's not Helen. Are
And he
they
has
still
two
married?
women. Or two
Daughters.
daughters.
So he doesn't have an obese son that he calls Tubby, basically.
It's 2 women. He has 2.
That's awesome.
He
dude.
feels like I can't.
I love you, William
still-
Goldman. You're my favorite. I just like that he said he had an obese son
Did y'all
that
like,
he basically
I
called
have sat
fat.
there. I have sat there and made
Judging
plans.
this man.
About finding that book. I did too.
And maybe going to the museum. And little did I know, Florida is a completely made-up country. It doesn't exist. There is nothing between Sweden and Germany. Those sons of bitches. There's no royal court. There's no packing. There's no, that doesn't exist.
Florence. I don't
Sorry.
know why I had Florence.
I thought they said Italian at some point in there.
No. You guys made up. This is a way of your brain filling in like holes in the story, but you didn't realize your brain was doing that, and so you made it cohesive, but
Yeah.
that's not true.
Yeah.
Who's the guy in what's that movie with the three friends and they all are horrible bosses?
Oh.
Who's the guy that works at the factory? And the son takes over the factory and he's like addicted to cocaine
Not
or
good.
whatever.
Oh no.
That's
He tells them they have to get rid of all the fat people. Like, is it Jason Sudeikis?
no. Because
Um,
Sudeikis works for what's his name, Kevin Spacey, and he's gonna get promoted, and then
Yeah.
he doesn't.
Yeah.
Charlie Day works in the dentist office for Jennifer Aniston.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
the third one, but I don't remember who it is.
Okay, William Goldman looks like that guy, but with a. It's like we.
I love William Cole.
Yeah, Morgenstern isn't
wrote-
real.
Got me.
Yeah, Victoria, you told.
I know, but we're still there. We're still.
You
in
know
it.
what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna-
I'm gonna write a longer version of The Princess Bride, say F him, and make my dreams come true.
Written by Morgenstern.
we finally see Danielle snap a little bit. She's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna write this wrong. I have not been fooled. I have just been creatively inspired. So I'm gonna turn this energy into something useful, something real. William Gold Dick. Dang, Danielle's mad about this. She don't like control. You don't trick me. She's really affected. We need to take Danielle to a magic show. She walks up on stage and she throws all of his balls on the ground. She's like,
No,
"You're a liar."
No, because you go to a magic show expecting to be lied to. You do
Do you start reading a fiction book expecting to be lied to?
No.
That's what I mean. That's the best part about it, because you're just like, what did you lie? And he's like, it's called fiction. You're like,
Lied
I know
throughout
what
the
it
whole thing.
means.
That's great. But the thing is,
The whole
But-
thing, like he's stuck with it too. Sorry,
Yeah.
Frankie. He's stuck with it
uh-huh.
because throughout the book he says he cut stuff.
Yep.
He talks about how he wishes he wouldn't have put the Cliffs of Insanity in there because people visit it. Like he fully committed.
Yep.
he
Yep.
went full tilt.
There was a
He went
museum with
full
the
tilt.
six-fingered
He was like-
sword. Fezzik really lived the giant, and how Andre put his hand in there and said it was even bigger than
Yeah.
his. Yeah, all that, which I was kind of like,
He made you believe. He made
Yeah.
you believe.
he did. But the thing is besides all that, he wrote one of the greatest stories of all time, and he trolls the hell out of him. Like that is to me, that is
He's your
my
idol.
yeah, that's my idol. That's so good because
It's so cool because hold on, Frank. I want you to come back in
you
at
know
the
what?
end of
Women
this
are
and
just
explain
being
all this.
interrupted. That's all I'm saying. They feel like they're
Yeah.
empowered.
Well, because you're wearing what looks like a wolf skin right now, so it's a little intimidating. Anyway,
If that were true, then
what
you
I-
shut up.
nope, I wouldn't. I would just get louder. so, no, what I want to say though is, to everybody watching, is that Frank was so lackluster about this. Like, you don't need to read it.
He was.
Just watch the movie. And now that he's been trolled, he's like, oh, I've been duped? Oh, you've duped me? You must be a genius. I'm just saying. So now go, Frank, and now tell us about it. And I won't interrupt. I'm not going to say anything.
I was
I'm
just
gonna
messing
say
around,
nothing
thinking around. But I'll say this again: you don't have to read it. You don't have to read the book, dude. You can just watch the movie if you're just interested in the actual story, because it's the same thing. I'm saying
What is the same thing?
there's very few added stuff. You do get the insight into Buttercup, people's thoughts throughout, right? You get a little more insight into
Yeah.
their thoughts, a couple extra scenes, but for the most part, dude, that's what makes it so good, is that they kept it the same. It's almost like shot for shot the same. Like as you're reading the book, you're just remembering the scenes. That's kind of what happens. I don't think you absolutely need to read it. If you enjoy reading books, I would say read it, but you don't absolutely need to. That's all I'm saying.
But you will get trolled because
Yeah. Which I guess we kind of spoiled that.
Well,
yeah, well,
Sucks to
it
be
was
you.
good though because everyone gets to see us being idiots because now they can feign like they knew. They're like, oh no, I knew it was fake. I knew it was fake.
The thing is, we didn't
Like,
look up.
you didn't know.
anything.
You didn't know, just like us.
We didn't look up.
How many
anything.
people went up to him? Well, yeah. How many people though were just like, wait, so Florin? Is that? Are we just spelling it different in this one? And he's like, no, it's not. It's not a real place.
I
And they're
don't
like,
think
oh
he
no,
would-
no, I knew that.
I don't think he would say that though.
You think he would just go with it?
No, he fully
It's like,
committed
Florin?
to this lie. He'd be
Yeah.
like, dude, why can't you find it on the map? Here's where. It's like he would just
You're
like.
like, you don't have good maps, obviously. It's fine. It's fine.
You need to
A
get
lot
a,
of people don't.
a more detailed map here.
Let me draw you one.
It's funny. I just can't believe he made up that he had. I just love that he made up that he had a fat son and he called him fat. Like he was at the dinner table because it's so offensive that Danielle and I were going, he called his son fat.
Well, I mean, he basically said he was, the way he described him though is it's like, yeah, he's eating his feelings. We've
Yeah.
all been there. Let's not lie about it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been there where I'm just like, I can't deal with life, but I can deal with this cake, so I'm gonna eat it.
But it's funny
Like,
that he writes that as the troll that he's okay with saying, yeah, I have a fat son and I'm calling him fat. And guess what? I forgot about his birthday because I don't care. Like that's funny to me because it's like he's purposely setting himself up as an asshole. And he
Wait, but here's the better part, Frank. Is he sets himself up as an asshole because the guy who we went to the museum, he was like, I don't know who you are. You're supposed to be some famous author. You once were. You once were. He's literally been just like annihilating himself in the book. And his son is like mad
grandson.
for him.
yeah.
His grandson is mad for him, and he's just like, so this whole time, like, he's trolling the hell out of us, and he's a real person. Like, you're like, no, this is a real guy who really took the inspiration from this other book. He really sells it by being that real of a person and saying those kinds of mean things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
it's the
that's
whole
how he
character.
does it.
He built another
It's so
character.
good.
Yeah. And then he fakes an affair. He fakes an almost affair, I should say.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
He set us
crazy.
up for that too, because remember when she says no starlets? It was too
Yeah.
given, and we fell for it, hook, line,
The
and
whole
sinker.
thing. I
Yeah.
know. And Frank was like, Helen's a bitch.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like, wait,
It's a
what?
bitch.
Well, but
She's
in,
like
in
way too
fairness,
smart for-
in fairness, what I said was I don't think that William Goldman's a good person either. But Helen does seem like she's a bit much. So
Oh my gosh.
I will say that.
I had such an argument about The Witcher and Geralt versus what's her name, Frank, with the Y?
This Sandra. It's the girl that had the broken back and then that was
Yeah.
ugly and disfigured.
Yeah, it's
Like
such an
Eula
argument
Sandra or
because
something.
no, Eula is from the last book that we read, the Night Angel trilogy. Her name is with a Y. Eula is with a U. Ulyssandra. Eulysandra.
Chris. Yennefer, told you.
Yeah, Yennefer.
Yennefer.
I was close. Eula Sandra.
Can you just?
Yeah, you're close.
Can you just
Why don't
you talk to it? Maybe say it in your.
you
Eulysandra.
go denigrate men somewhere?
Oh.
Sandra. Sandra.
Listen, I didn't say it was even a real name. I'm just saying it was close.
It is a name. It is a name. It is a name. It's Ulyssandra. Ulysandra is a name. You guys are crazy right now. Okay.
What about her?
I love you guys. Let's end this.
Wait. So the things you got to take away are that if you love The Princess Bride, but you want a little more detail, definitely read the book.
If you like reading and you like The Princess Bride, you should read this.
And I had listened to the audio book. It was great.
Oh.
I liked it.
Well, that was the same guy that... It was Rob Reiner. No, Rob Reiner's amazing.
What?
Yeah.
Rob Reiner reads it?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Dang
Rob
it.
Reiner's amazing. I love Rob Reiner.
I know. He literally makes like good movies.
Well,
Like,
he does Wolf of Wall Street. He plays the dad.
I don't want to talk about it. It's too much and I don't feel comfortable.
Just saying.
Talk about it.
I don't.
All right.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
What other points do you have?
Okay, so my points are, yeah, if you want a little more detail, definitely read the book. You're going to be a little bit trolled, but maybe you'll like it like Frank did. And Danielle's very much on the side of not liking it. And I'm in the middle where I'm just like, what? You would lie to me? And they're like, it's called fiction. And I'm like, all right, can't hold you to that. So, yeah, read it if you want some more detail. Otherwise, The Princess Bride remains to be an amazing movie. They did stick really closely to the way that the book was laid out, almost exactly. You just get a little more detail from reading it. So, I mean, maybe just watch the movie again because it's so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am gonna go and watch the movie. Actually, I have plans to watch
know.
it this weekend because I'm like, dude, it's just so good. And my girlfriend hasn't seen it, so I'm like, you're
What?
crazy.
You
It's-
lucky
there-
bastard.
There are some people out there that have not seen it. It doesn't-
Oh,
I know. I don't think she's gonna.
I'm
like
so
it, though.
jealous. I'm so jealous of her right now.
I mean, what do I do if she doesn't like it?
Dump her immediately.
I think
just
so.
Bye, Felicity. Like, so sorry.
No, here's what I was gonna say. Here's one more thing I just wanted to say. The reason why I think I like the troll so much is because that's the type of person I am. Because what I was asking you guys is I just started with a new company, and I was asking my two sisters here. I was saying they asked us 5 questions to get to know us better. Something like that, right? They always do that, and we all know that it's kind of, ugh, but I understand it at the same time because people can kind of get to know you. But it's just kind of like, you know, whatever. And one of the questions was, tell us an interesting fact about yourself. And so what I wanted to put that one time I passed by in a hallway the dad from 10 Things I Hate About You. And the reason why I wanted to put that is because it's so stupid and doesn't matter. Like, why would you put that down as an interesting fact? So I asked my sister Danielle about it, who's an HR person. And she thought I was lying when this actually happened to me. I did pass by him
You
in a
said
hall.
it didn't happen.
She's like, why would I
It-
lie? She's like, why would you lie about that?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
I
like,
was
"What?"
so
What do you
lost.
gain?
I'm like, I don't.
But I actually happened. So that's why I think I like this guy so much, because it's funny to just troll a little bit. To act like things
Just a
are
little.
important that aren't important. Because it's funny because people will take it seriously and then you can be like, you're so dumb. Because that's not.
well,
Why are you acting
well,
like this
I-
is important? It's not.
But I think you're kind of like, you're on the side though, Frank, where you're like, there's no harm in that. But Danielle literally is like, wanted to read that. Like, she's let down right now.
I am.
She's like, I wanted to read about Florin, and I wanted to read about their royal customs, and I wanted to read about that.
I wanted to read about that guy's family. Because he did Morton's, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Morgenstern.
I wanted to go see the 6-fingered sword for sure.
You did? Is that what you took out of that? I just thought.
Well,
I
yeah,
think there are
people went and saw
differences.
it. People went and saw it. So I was like, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to go and
They
see some of that
literally
history.
described it as a bunch of little boys around the sword.
Yeah, and then doing the joust with it. And it was
Yeah.
Inigo Montoya.
Well, I just think it's funny the differences between what you guys wanted from it. Frank's like, I want to see this, so I want to joust with it a little
Well,
bit.
yeah, I'd want to see with Fezzik's hand and everything.
And then Danielle is like, I wanted to. What do you want to do? You want
Can I
to
read about the
freaking
history?
the history.
Anyway, yeah, Goldman. Let me just say this: you did a fantastic job. Wonderful work, man. One of the best.
Yeah, you trolled
movies,
us
too.
pretty hard.
Perfect casting too. Perfect casting. Dude, Billy Crystal as Miracle Max.
Well, and
Oh God,
so one thing
fantastic.
to say
And his
is
wife?
his wife isn't in the book at all.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Are you crazy?
Danielle's crazy a little bit.
Danielle, yes,
What
she
happened,
is.
yo?
She's the one that says, liar! Liar! She comes
Liar!
up. Yeah.
Liar!
It's literally like the movie.
She's a witch. You're supposed to
Okay,
keep
well,
a witch around, but she's not actually a witch.
Oh, maybe it wasn't
cut
in
it
your
out of the
audio.
It's
Bro.
his wife.
Yeah, no, she's in the book, Danielle.
Oh,
100%, she's
that's
in
not
the
fair. I love her. She's so funny.
Yeah.
She literally comes up. She's like, liar.
Yeah.
Even she has hearing problems really bad.
Yep.
She's like, even I heard what he said.
Yep.
True love. And she's like, and you're scared.
Yep.
she
Yep.
didn't want to tell him. She
Yep.
didn't want to tell him because he was scared because he was like, I haven't done this for so long. Maybe I'm bad at it.
Yep.
And she was just like, I know that she's been trying to like keep it from him that she knows he's scared and he doesn't want to do it because of that. But he keeps saying to her, well, they only offered us 20 and I can't take that, but they actually offered 65. And she's like, well, I guess 20 would be better than nothing or whatever. But she heard him. She knows that they offered 65. So she's trying to be nice. And then once she hears true love, then she's like, all right, that's it. I'm not going to stand for this. And she's like, you're a liar. You're a liar. And you don't want to do this because you're scared of Prince Humperdinck has ruined your courage and your confidence in yourself. It's so good.
Yeah.
I love her. I love her. I love the witch.
Just everything. Everything is so good. The albino is cool. Everything.
I know. I just think his life sucked so
absolutely.
hard. But it kind of makes sense because he has to stay downstairs all the time and he's an albino and he can't deal with sun very much.
Got
I mean,
those
I'm
I'm
gross-
just
shocked at
saying,
him.
if we had to choose one person to be downstairs out of the sunlight, it's that guy.
It's a perfect job.
Just saying.
Dude,
Caved well.
when the Count ran from Inigo,
Right?
yeah, that
Son of
was
a
so
bitch.
funny. Because it's like,
You don't expect it.
yeah, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepared to die.
Oh,
did the
there's
one
one difference.
thing.
There's one difference in the book and then in the movie when he says, I want my father back, you son of a bitch, which is such a
Yeah.
powerful moment because
It
you're like,
is.
you.
No, he says that in the
You're
movie.
so with Inigo.
That's what he says
in the movie, that's what he says.
The book he
Yeah,
says.
in the movie.
In the book, he says,
He
I
said-
want Domingo back.
No, he
You son of a
says.
bitch.
I want.
Well, he,
Well, yours is wrong, Danielle, so don't. He says, I want Domingo back. We can't trust you. You don't even know the witch. I'm just saying. How are we supposed to trust
He says his
you?
full name. I want Domingo Montoya back. He wants his
You son
dad.
of a bitch.
Yeah. He doesn't say you son of a bitch in the book, though, I don't think.
Yes, he does.
and
I
then
got the book right here, so.
Yeah, okay.
So
he
in-
says it. He literally
in the
says it.
audio book says, "Cut out my heart," and
Well, he says that, I think, too. In the
No, he says that
this
in the
book.
book. He says it in the book, not the movie.
I was saying, in our book, he says that. Yes. The other book in the book line. But he says, you killed, or
Oh,
I want Domingo
almost at it.
Montoya
Hold on.
back, you son of a bitch. I'm telling you, it was almost shot for
Yeah, he
shot.
says
like-
everything the Count said. Power to, promise me that. All I have and more, please. Offer me anything I ask for. Yes, yes, say it. I want. Oh, he does say you son of a bitch. You're good,
Yeah.
Frank. You're good. Your recall's good. I want Domingo Montoya. But I think it was better. I want my father back. Like that. I just feel like it was more
powerful.
personal in the movie
Yeah.
when it was just like,
Yep.
son of a bitch. You
Yes.
son of a bitch.
But the
He
you
killed-
son
he
of
had
a
to see
bitch
his
is
father.
so good.
yeah.
And the
He-
way
well,
that he delivers
oh my gosh,
that
when
line,
you read, yes, but when you read the book, do you totally like,
You
because
hear
it's
him.
script for script,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
When you're reading the book and you're here, you know the movie.
Yep.
But before you knew the movie, and if you had never seen the movie and you had just read the book, these actors, they did. I'm like, it
They
made me
embodied
more
the
amazed with
characters.
actors now. It just did.
Yeah.
Because there's so much gravity to
Yeah.
it when you see the performance. And
Yeah.
you're just like, they literally do. They do. They are amazing. If you get
nail
some
it.
amazing actors.
They
They nail it.
nail
They
it.
nail it.
Every single
I
character
love
is
Wesley.
perfect.
Even Wesley being like a little bit sarcastic to Buttercup, where he's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
and you're like, don't talk to her like that. But she kind of deserves it. 'Cause
She
she's being a
deserves
little
it.
silly.
Yeah.
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 You're just like, Wesley embodies the perfect man. You know why? Because he is romantic and he does care and he does love her, but he also doesn't give in too much to her. He doesn't give in so much that he's a simping little boy. Like, he's worked hard and he said "as you wish" all the time, but he isn't ever sort of giving up his own dignity. You know what I mean? He makes his own choices and it makes it very clear what he will deal with. But then once it's like, okay, we love each other, even when they're in the fire swamp and everything, he keeps little bits of information from her. But like, if she asks a stupid question, he gives her a sarcastic answer. Like, he's not just treating her like she's this delicate little flower that can't take a little bit of, I mean, she literally freaking makes her run forever without telling her anything.
Mhm.
God. That's one of my favorite parts in the whole movie, when he's just like, he slaps her. He fucking slaps her. And you're like, oh my God. And he's like, that's a warning. And he's like, where I come from, when women lie, they get in trouble or whatever. Anyway, and you're just like, holy shit, dude. Like, that's his person. But then she pushes him down a cliff, so toxic relationship, a little bit.
Holy cow. Mandy Patinkin?
Yeah.
So weird.
Right?
That's him. You know who I thought it was? I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was the guy that's doing The Last of Us right now that also did The Mandalorian.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Super great. Because it kind of looks like
who?
him.
The character for
For Inigo Montoya, sorry.
Inigo.
I thought it was,
So good.
you know who I'm talking about, Victoria? The guy that does The Last of Us?
Yeah. Did you watch the voice acting for the Last of Us video game? Because they have that out now. And you can see the voice acting when they're just in the suits, so it's matching their movements in the game or whatever, but you're watching them act. I was like, dude, I do have respect for actors. Like, it's impressive to be able to get that far into a character.
Absolutely. Dude,
But I
what's
just
crazy-
didn't see it before. It gets old when you're just watching like a bunch of bimbo stuff or a bunch of dudes acting just like, you know, all the time. But when you really see like an emotional scene and you kind of see from the outside of it where there's literally just a bunch of cameras all around them, but that person is going someplace in their head where they can be a totally different person. Like,
Victoria, this is why you should watch The Wolf of Wall Street.
no.
You get to literally see
No.
you get to see
can't.
Jonah Hill
can't watch
and Leonardo DiCaprio just go to this insane place in their head, and
I can't.
the people that they get to be when they're not like that. It's crazy.
I
Very,
know,
very
I
good.
know, and I know it's a thing to watch, and like in the way of like it's a transformation to watch. I can't deal with people that are so materialistic. It really hurts me. It really hurts me to see people that have fallen into that lifestyle and trying to talk them out of it, where you're just like, dude,
You
this
know how it
isn't the
ends?
best thing in the world.
You know how it ends?
Probably really sad.
It's bad for the people that are conning people.
I know it will be. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, you know, when you love somebody and you see that they're like that, where they're just materialistic, and you're looking them in the eyes and you're just trying to explain to them how the things that matter in this life you cannot buy with money. You can't buy it with money. Money makes things easier. Money makes things more comfortable. It does all of those things. But the thing that you work for are love, connection, people that you care about. That's what you work for. And you're looking them in the eyes and they're just like, nope, I'm going to go make $10,000 wasting my life away from my family for, 2 months because I just want a new truck. And you're just like, I can't. Like, how do you explain love to somebody, And so it hurts my heart when I watch things like that, because I'm just like, so many people are caught up in that rat race where they're just like seeking all of this money just to have things make you feel better. And that's never going to make you feel better, because you don't get to keep any of it when you leave. It's all going away. You're not being buried with it. And even if you were buried with it, you wouldn't be aware of it because you're dead. What really mattered What are you gonna say? Dang it, I regret this on my deathbed. And it's not gonna be a shopping trip that you regret missing. It's gonna be things that actually matter. And it's hard for me. It's so hard for me when it's just like you can't get through to them though, because it's like it's just it's not the time yet for them to understand it or something. It's just like watching children. It's like they're gonna make the mistake. They gotta fall flat on their face, and it's just so hard to watch that happen, and it just hurts me. So I don't watch those kinds of shows. It just really makes me sad. And nobody, it's probably personal because nobody understands why I don't want a lot of money. But it's just like, because it's never gonna make me happy. That's why. Because it's never gonna make me happy ever. Not today, not tomorrow, not the next day. So if I'm having problems in my life, money isn't one of them. I live a very luxurious life already. I don't need more money. The things that I need is to work on myself and to have better connections with people. That's what's really going to fulfill my life. And so maybe that's why it's so personal, but I just don't watch movies like that.
Apologize.
What? I couldn't hear you.
That I apologize for suggesting it.
Thank you. I really don't want to watch it. I've had people try to force me to watch it before, and I'm just like, even watching the trailers, I'm so like, I can see it's like watching a car, the car crash is going to happen, and people are like, hey, you want to watch this movie about a car crash? I'm like, no, I do not. Thank you. No thanks. I do not want to watch that car crash happen.
Princess Bride.
Well, you keep trying to force the fucking issue. Why don't you go watch this fucking movie? I'm like, I'll explain to you my philosophies.
You would think that I was asking her to watch, what's that fucking Schindler's List?
All right. Thank you, everyone,
No,
for
because that
joining
movie
us
is
today.
that movie is hard.
Love you.
That movie is hard.
Love you, everybody. No, that movie is hard, but
Victoria, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Victoria, just trying to be funny.
and it ends up as
Just
the
trying to be
same
funny.
results.
Just trying to be funny.
Just love is what matters, guys. That's why I'm so happy that we do this podcast, and that's all because of you, Frank. You really pushed to get us together, and I really do appreciate it, because I feel like, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, and it doesn't even matter if you do, but I feel like I really look forward to the weekends to see you guys.
Yeah.
And reading the
it
books
makes the
too.
weekends really worthwhile. And reading the books, but there's a kind of thing in it, because when you're reading it, don't you think like, oh, I'm gonna tell them about this part.
Yeah.
I look forward to talking
It is
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, it's hard for me not to talk to you guys about it
beforehand.
before.
Yeah.
beforehand.
I think I look forward to our writing a little bit more.
I like both.
Well, that's just because I think Frank, you're I think you're not prepared. You weren't prepared for the amount of time it takes for a YouTube channel to take off. Usually it's about a year at least, for people the algorithm to start picking up.
Why do you
Because
think I'm
I think-
not prepared for it?
Because I think you're like,
Because I make the comments about it?
We're not.
Victoria,
We're not doing
do you
well.
understand my sense of humor
my
constantly? I make fun of myself constantly. Why do you think I would not make fun of the fact that people don't watch the YouTube? That's part of the joke.
Okay.
Don't insult my intelligence.
Okay.
Don't come after it.
I love you guys.
I love you both. I love you both. But wait, are we still meeting the same time tomorrow?
I'm good with. So that's
totally
6 and
good.
8. 6 and 8,
Yep.
right? Okay. So next week, what are we reading?
Did we decide? I don't
Oh,
know.
and let's say this real quick. Hey, everybody. So we do think that if you like reading or you really enjoy Princess Bride, you should read the book. But if you were just really like watching movies, dude, the movie covered it. Got it.
Covered.
It's the same thing, pretty much, slightly more. That's basically our thoughts. But either way, it's a good read if you enjoy it. But we thank you all for watching. What we're gonna read next week is, and now let's talk about it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide.
Are
to
we
the
gonna do
Galaxy.
it?
Do you
Is
want
that good?
I've
Everybody
got
good?
it. I got it over there.
I got
So
I'll
it.
read
everybody's
the back
good?
of it. Hold on. I'll read the back of it real quick.
No,
You
Victoria,
guys
we don't
decide.
do that.
Why don't we do that?
Because it gives away too much about the book.
Yeah, but do you guys just want me to read it to you guys to decide if you want to read it?
No, wait, we do that. We just don't read the next book. on this one because it gives away too much. Yeah, so go ahead, read the back. Sorry,
my God.
I got confused.
Okay. It says, seconds before Earth is demolished to make way for a galactic freeway, Arthur Dent is plucked off the planet by his friend Ford Perfect, a researcher from the revised edition of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy who, for the last 15 years, has been posing as an out-of-work actor. Together, this dynamic pair begin a journey throughout space, aided by a galaxy full of fellow travelers. Zaphod Beeblebrox, the two-headed, three-armed, ex-hippie, and totally out-to-lunch president of the galaxy. Trillian, formerly Trisha McMillian, Zaphod's girlfriend, whom Arthur tried to pick up at a cocktail party once upon a time zone. Marvin, a paranoid, brilliant, and chronically depressed robot. And Veet Vujagig, I don't know how to say that, a former graduate student obsessed with the disappearance of all the ballpoint pens he's bought over the years. Where are these pens? Why are we born? Why do we die? Why do we spend so much time in between wearing digital watches? For all the answers, stick your thumb to the stars. That's the book.
Sick. Hitchhiker's Guide. That's what we're reading for next.
Ooh, it looks really cool like that.
It does. It sounds good.
So anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you like the podcast, leave us a comment, leave us a like, subscribe.
They also made a movie about this book.
They did. Very good movie. We'll see how it
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Now it kind of seems like we're doing